A model can sound smart in one message and still forget the job on the very next turn. Without memory, every step risks becoming a fresh guess instead of a continuation of real work. The moment an agent has to investigate an incident, gather evidence, ask for approval, and come back later, it needs memory. Otherwise, it cannot keep task, context, intermediate findings, or pending actions aligned. But memory is not automatically good. A stale fact, the wrong user profile, or an overshared note can push an agent toward the wrong answer with more confidence than before. So in this lesson, we will separate short-term memory, long-term memory, and user context. Then we will cover what should be stored, what should expire, and how production systems keep memory private, auditable, and debuggable. The cleanest way to think about agent memory is as layers around the model. There is immediate conversation state, working state for the current task, durable user or project memory, and external knowledge the agent can retrieve when needed. Session memory is the short-lived layer. It holds the recent conversation, the active goal, and the facts the agent needs right now to continue the current thread coherently. Long-term memory is different. It is where the system may keep stable user preferences, prior task outcomes, reusable summaries, or trusted domain knowledge that still matters after the session ends. And importantly, not every useful fact belongs inside memory. Some information should stay in systems of record and be fetched live, because memory is a helper for continuity, not a replacement for truth. At the shallowest level, short-term memory is conversation state. That means recent turns, current user constraints, and the working assumptions that make the next reply connected to the last one. One level deeper is working memory for the task itself. This is where the agent tracks its plan, which tools already ran, what evidence has been collected, what failed, and what should happen next. Production agents also need resumable state. If a tool takes time, a human must approve a step, or a worker crashes halfway through, the system should reload the last good checkpoint instead of recomputing everything from scratch. Short-term memory also needs cleanup. As the thread grows, the system should summarize old detail. Keep only the parts still relevant and let the rest expire so context stays useful instead of bloated. The safest long-term user memory usually starts with stable preferences. Things like preferred language, default report format, favorite cloud, or whether the user likes concise answers can save time without carrying major risk. Then there is task history, sometimes called episodic memory. This is where the agent remembers that a project already chose PostgreSQL, that a ticket was escalated yesterday, or that a migration failed on step 3 last week. A third category is knowledge memory. This can be a curated summary store, a vector index, or another retrieval system that helps the agent recall stable guidance, patterns, or internal documentation when it becomes relevant. The important production rule is scoped retrieval. Do not dump all stored memory into every prompt. Retrieve only what matches the user, tenant, task, and policy scope of the current job. What should you store? Usually confirmed user preferences, durable project decisions, reusable summaries, important IDs or links, and prior outcomes that materially help the next task. What should you avoid by default? Secrets, raw credentials, full private conversations, sensitive health or legal information, and anything the agent does not truly need to retain to do its job safely. The safest design principle is consent plus minimization. If the system wants to remember something durably about the user, be clear about it, ask permission where appropriate, and store the smallest useful form of that memory. every durable memory item should also carry metadata. You want timestamps, source references, confidence or verification status, and a clear path to update or delete the memory when it becomes wrong or unwanted. A practical production design separates memory by purpose. Keep per-thread state and checkpoints close to the workflow engine. Keep durable user or task memory in a governed store, and keep external knowledge in retrieval systems built for search, not for blind prompt stuffing. This is also why LangGraph style systems matter in production. They treat the agent as stateful execution with persistence, checkpoints, resumable threads, and human handoff points instead of a single giant prompt that disappears after one response. Memory has to be secured like any other data layer. That means tenant isolation, role-based access, encryption in transit and at rest, careful key management, and a rule that one user should never leak into another user's memory context. Retention must be intentional too. Some memory belongs only for the life of a task, some for 30 days, some until the user deletes it, and some may need archival or regional compliance handling. If you never design expiry, memory quietly becomes liability. If a memory-powered agent behaves badly, the first debugging question is simple. What did the agent actually know at that moment? You want a way to inspect the state, the retrieved memories, and the prompt context that drove the decision. You also need memory tracing. Which memory items were read, which were written, why were they selected, and what source justified them? Without that trail, debugging turns into folklore. Evaluation is the next discipline. Measure whether memory improved continuity, whether it introduced stale or private information, how often retrieval helped, and where the agent should have asked a fresh question instead. Finally, good systems make memory repairable. Teams should be able to clear a bad memory, rebuild a summary, replay a thread from an earlier checkpoint, or let the user inspect and delete their durable context directly. So the simple model is this. Short-term memory keeps the current job coherent, and long-term memory keeps durable patterns that are still worth remembering later. Mixing those two layers carelessly is where confusion starts. The second rule is that memory should improve continuity, not replace verification. For changing facts like prices, deployments, laws, incidents, or account status, the agent should still go to the live system of record. And the final rule is operational discipline. Good agent memory is consented, minimal, encrypted, expiring, observable, and easy to debug. If one of those properties is missing, the memory layer is not production ready yet. If you want more practical deep tutorials on AI agents, memory architecture, cloud systems, Terraform, Kubernetes, and production delivery, subscribe to Trust Screen Cloud and AI Engineering, and I will keep breaking these systems down step by step.